Hello everybody! Welcome to Bedrock Basics, Badlands episode number 3. When we left off, we had just cleared out our starting area and built ourselves a ship as our Viking adventurer comes aboard land and starts to build things new. So we're going to put down some land markers here in the form of some statues. And these are some of the most basic statues you can get. You can see multiple people have produced them on YouTube. And it reminds me of a big giant head from Easter Island. We'll put a couple of those out. And of course, because of the area that we're using smooth sandstone as our block. And then with that, being what we're marking this area with, I'm going to call this the sand head port. Nice and simple, giant sand heads. Okay. The scaffolding, wonderful tool here made with bamboo and string. And the smooth sandstone itself is made by just taking regular sandstone and sticking it in a furnace and cooking it. Okay. Bit of a long video today. We've got 3 parts. The first part is our statues as land markers, and I'm just going to walk you through the build here, and then it's just going to be replicated on the other side. So there'll be 2 of these. And I noticed these statues, they stand with what looks like their hands are together. So at the meeting point of their hands, I like to put an object that reflects what they're being used for. And as these are land markers, I'm going to use a light source. And my preferred light source is going to be a jack-o'-lantern. Now a jack-o'-lantern, if you dress it up, it doesn't look like a Halloween decoration, but it is a block that emits light and is very easy to make. The blocks used for this statue, just smooth sandstone blocks, smooth sandstone slabs, and smooth sandstone stairs. Now the basic model of these is 11 blocks tall and 5 blocks wide, 3 blocks deep. So if we were going to make one that's double this size, it would be 22 blocks tall, 10 blocks wide, and 6 blocks deep. And you'll see that I use these in more than one place at different sizes to reflect different things that are going on. But I think for this world, this is going to be the consistent piece of artwork to mark things. Variations on the basic villager motif. And that's essentially the villager's mouth. Then we move up to where his eyes are. Oops. That's better. They'll just need big old noses. You'll see a lot of splits in the video today, and that's every time I'm going back to reload for resources or running over to the crafting table or spending the night sleeping or smashing a zombie that showed up. I value your time as viewers, and I don't want to waste it with the mundane stuff. And a nose. There we go. He's basically done. We'll take a look at it and see what she looks like from a distance. Ah, yes. And the jack-o'-lantern for him to hold. So you throw out a pumpkin, get yourself a pair of shears. When you shear the pumpkin into a carved pumpkin, you get back pumpkin seeds, so it's not like you're wasting the resource. And then the carved pumpkin, all you have to do is add a torch to it. And then you will have a block that's a light source. Oh, almost time to sleep again. Torches look good, but sometimes it's nice to have a block, especially if you want overhead lighting. You can't stick a torch on a ceiling, but you can stick a pumpkin on a ceiling. I don't want the pumpkin face facing outwards, so we just put it facing in. And so it really doesn't look like a pumpkin. We're just going to encase it with trapdoors. And jungle wood is our palette of choice for this one. Make sure you don't use solid trapdoors, otherwise the light will be completely blocked. And then what'd you do that for? There it is. And we'll just come back and have a distance look as you approach the port. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. Big old villager statue. And of course made of sandstone because it's a sandy area. And then we just replicate it on the other side. So there's two of them. And that's the entrance to the port. Now with that being done, we'll move on to the actual buildings in the port itself. This will be the first building people come to, bit of an administrative building. When it's all said and done and I get the right blocks, we'll even stick a flag on it. Earth to keep whoever's running the show warm. And you can see I've just got the footprints already laid out to save a bit of time. Close the fireplace. And I like using the campfire because it has the smoke effect that comes out of it. And we'll make an actual chimney so that the smoke goes all the way to the top. Some people cheat the graphic by just putting a campfire at the top where their chimney is, and then they can build whatever they want at the bottom without worrying about the dynamics of the smoke actually having to get to the top. But for this one, we're just actually making a chimney. Okay, and as it's a port, and the main function of this port is unloading ships with all their goods, it's also my initial storage system. And that just consists of a bunch of chests at the head office, and then a couple of warehouses for overflow. Still, it should be plenty of chests before I'm ready to move on to developing the actual city itself. So, in effect, it's an intermediary base, a little bit more than a starter base, but not the end goal. Or it's a really big storage system, depending on how you want to look at it. Cut sandstone for the cornerstones of the building with sandstone interior, so that it has a different palette and it's not all just one plain similar block. And the chests, you'll notice I like to turn sideways because you get twice as many of them facing the same area. If I were to put a chest side by side instead of going deep, I'd only have half as many chests there to have access to. And then you got to worry about passageways and how do you reach your stuff. So simply put, just turn it sideways and you get twice as many of them in. And then we stick a sign on the end of each one of them so that we can label whatever contents we decide to put in them. And we're trying to keep the palette consistent to just sand and sandstone variants and jungle wood for these buildings. If I had to add something else, it would be brown terracotta, because that's what the other sand villages use. There's the sandstone, just for a variety in the palette, so that the walls don't look plain like this. Yeah, too plain. Just by changing the palette a bit, you give it a little bit more character. That's nicer. And then it's got the illusion that the corners are made of something stronger for support purposes. There we go. Just a little restroom for whoever's running the show. Plus I also need a place to set my own spawn and keep coming back to. Bit of an entryway, which we just decorate. Give it a bit of an arch at the start. And of course we'll have to add some torches along the way just to make sure that we keep the mob spawning down. Here, to make an arch, we could use stairs, or we could half slab it. So we'll try both and we'll see which one we like better. And purely just using stairs here, where you can see the arch pattern that's happening. But it also feels a little bit low to me. I want just a touch higher. Let's see what the slabs look like. Up a little bit more. Slab it. I like that better. Okay. And we'll put a flag on the roof of this place, and we'll need roof access. Don't like the open draft. Let's close it off with some windows. Also keep the monsters out. And I just got to make the chimney. Right now it's in line with the chests. But if I put a roof on it, that's going to add another layer, so the chimney had to come up just a bit. Two reasons to put the roof on. One is because, come on, what kind of building doesn't have a roof? And two is, you don't want monsters spawning on top here. And the monsters cannot spawn if the light source is really bright or if it's a partial slab. So they won't spawn on top of the bottom half of slabs, or on top of stairs, or on top of other non-solid blocks that are just partial. So these solid blocks they can still spawn on, but on the stairs they won't spawn on it. And then the other way I'm going to spawn proof it is I'll use half slabs just so that there's no monster issue. Alternatively, I could put lights all over the place, but I want to go with just half slabs and let it actually darken up but still be safe. By going layer by layer, you can see that even though I've changed between cut sandstone and sandstone, it's consistent everywhere, so it looks like an intentional pattern. And really, I'm just winging this as I go and feeling it out. So the chests themselves, if I put a solid block over them, they won't be able to open. So we'll set the roof with a half block instead of a full block. There. The half block over top the chest still allows it to open, but you can't place anything else there because the half block is technically the occupier of the space. And we'll have to cut an access hole for the ladder that we installed. There it is. Hello. Finish that up. Okay. Add a little decorative top to the chimney. And still leave the hole open for the smoke to come out. And again, the walls are partial blocks that monsters will not spawn on top of. Now these slabs here, monsters still can spawn on top of them because they're in the top position. And we'll address that just by putting slabs on top. So it's now they're looking at a half slab instead of the top of a full flat slab. Blech. Flat slab, half slab, slabbity slab. Dress it up a bit just so it's not a big flat surface. We'll give it a little bit of a false wall. And we put it here because we don't want to interfere with the chimney. Monsters could spawn on that flat area in between the slabs and the stairs, but we'll address it. And I do like that the stairs correct themselves or adjust if you turn a corner with them, if they're facing the right way. Got a little tiny bit of a decorative parapet at the top, and once we get some wool of the right colors, you'll see me add a flagpole up here. Because hey, what kind of flag doesn't declare who the heck they are? Rather, what kind of port doesn't? Half of these slabs. Fill it up. Oh, wait a minute. I'm off by 1 square. That's not centered. It's just a tiny bit off center. And oh, a creeper. Great. Just great. Yeah. Yep. All part of the game. And we'll fix that. Rage quitting's not an option. Just adjust that over so it's centered instead of being off centered. Everything I play on the Bedrock edition, and I don't use any mods at all. And the only download I've got is just for a Viking skin pack, and that's it. Everything else is just what Mojang gives us. Okay, and we move on to the warehouse. There's 2 of these, and I'm just going to show you building one with a whole bunch of cuts whenever I'm doing the other one. Continuing on with the same concept as what we did for the head office, the warehouses will be framed with cut sandstone, and then the interior is filled with regular sandstone, which really ties the buildings together when you look at them, when they've got the same palette and design for their concept. If all of a sudden I were to build with regular sandstone or terracotta or something else here, whatever building it is would definitely look out of place with the others, which is okay if that's what your intention is, but I want these components to blend together. And in keeping with the name of like Sandhead Port, yeah, using a whole lot of sand. And then fill the interiors with regular sandstone. If you need to, you can convert regular sand into sandstone just at the crafting table. I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio. But I like my sand for my roads and for glass. There we go, fill it up. And for background music today, we're using some classical waltzes. A little ventilation there. I might apply that little ventilation gap to the head office. Haven't decided yet. But hey, it's the desert. It's going to get hot in there. And then onto the roof. It's pretty simple. It's really just a room full of chests that are enclosed with some walls. But it also looks way prettier than just having your chests sitting in the middle of a field. And again, by turning them sideways, you can see the capacity of chests has doubled. And there's quite a few in there. Gonna have to think about a roof access though. And to do that, I might have to add a column to the middle, which might require a little adjustment. Yeah, we'll just take out the center one because there's 11 rows there, so we'll take out the middle. I like the symmetry of having 5 rows on each side. And then we'll just put a pretend structural wall down the middle. Something to hold the ceiling up. Yep, give me back that chest. And we got lots of chests, so we won't miss the small number that I took out for the wall. Just 4 double chests on each side. Doo-doo-doo. And symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a wall. Don't pressure yourself either to have to put all the chests in at once. Right now, as I build this, my second warehouse, it's only, let's say, 3/4 full of the chests. As I farm more wood, I'll add more chests, and eventually it'll be full. And you'll also see here that the chests don't have their labeling signs on them, but they're all empty, so who cares what the label is? They're just empty chests right now. And then similarly, like the administrative building there, we're going to have to put a roof on here, and we'll use the same concept of half slabs to prevent monsters from spawning up here. In general as well, when you're using half slabs, a lot of times one block will give you 2 half slabs of the same material, which is efficient. And we need that extra block of height just so that the chest can open. Dress it off with the cut stone. And the consistency makes it look good. Okay, we just got to roof this sucker. Oh, a little more ladder. Doink. And again, we're just cutting because we had to go back and get more resources. And slab it up. By putting the slab below as well, it stops anything weird like a spider from spawning on top of your chests. There's not enough space there for anything really. If I were to leave the one full block of space, a spider could find its way there. And we don't like spiders. So they won't spawn inside, they won't spawn outside. Okay, getting there. Cut to, yeah, we need more. I really find the background music helps because I'm not going to talk your ears off for the full 30 minutes of this video. Then just using the stairs for a little decoration at the top to break up the big flat surface. Now, I'm going to put stairs on the other side as well. And if you put 2 stairs together, the top would essentially be the same size as a full block. But that doesn't count for a monster to spawn on top of. It doesn't see it as a full block. It sees it as 2 partial blocks. So if that's the direction you want to go, your monster's safe still. Now, technically a monster could spawn on the sandy floor that I'm standing on, but there's enough light inside that that's not going to happen. And I don't want to put half slabs all over the floor. It won't look right when I get to where the chests are. There's going to be some issues. But it is an option. Another alternative I've seen some people use, which works fine, but it's not my taste, is instead of putting signs on the side of chests, you can put item frames. And then you can put an item that reflects what's inside the chest. I prefer the signs because oftentimes I have more than one item in a chest. Like maybe I have a Heart of the Sea and a seashell, a Nautilus seashell that goes right along with them. Maybe I have them both in the same chest, but I'll list them both on an item list. Whereas if I have an item frame, I can only display one of them. Well, we're coming to the end here. 30 minutes flies by when you're a busy little beaver. So I think the last thing we're going to add to this area for today's episode is we'll go back to the administrative building and we'll add some mapping stuff. We'll put a large map of the area on the wall, mounted by item frames, and just a couple of resources for mapping right there. Clickety click. Thank you very much for joining me today. That's been a half an hour that we shared together. Thank you. Bye-bye.